Congratulations. You've been hired as a night cleaner at the Crimson Carnival Circus, an abandoned attraction on the outskirts of town that's been closed for 30 years. Your pay is excellent, but to survive the night, you must follow the rules. These rules exist because of the Joker, a clown performer who died in the circus 30 years ago. His spirit still haunts these grounds, and rule number 7 is the most important one. It's the rule that directly involves the Joker himself. Rule number 1. Always keep your flashlight on. Never turn it off, even if the batteries seem to drain faster than they should. The Joker hates the light. Rule number 2. Between 10 p.m. and 10:17 p.m., you may hear children laughing from the funhouse. Do not investigate. That's where the Joker performed his final show. Rule number 3. If you see a figure in clown makeup standing in the center ring, do not make eye contact. Walk past quickly and continue your work. Rule number 4. The carousel will sometimes start spinning on its own. Let it. The Joker died on that carousel. Never try to stop it. Rule number 5. By midnight, all mirrors must be covered with the cloths provided. The Joker uses mirrors to move between spaces. If you see a clown's reflection that isn't there, cover it immediately and leave the area. Rule number 6. If you hear circus music playing, don't follow it. Stay on your cleaning route. Rule number 7. At exactly 1047 a.m., you will hear knocking on the supply closet door. 3 knocks, then silence, then 3 more knocks. You must stay inside the main office with the door locked until 2015 a.m. Do not open any doors. Do not respond to any voices. Do not leave the office no matter what you hear. This is when the Joker is most active. If you break this rule, you'll have to face him directly. Your shift ends at 5 a.m. Survive until dawn and you'll receive your payment. Good luck, cleaner. My name is Marcus Chen, and I'm the person who accepted the job offer. I needed the money desperately. $3,000 for one night of cleaning seemed too good to be true, but I was 2 months behind on rent. When I arrived at the Crimson Carnival Circus at 9:45 p.m., I thought the rules were just scare tactics. Hendrix, the property manager, handed me a key ring, a heavy-duty flashlight, and a laminated card with the rules. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Whatever you do, don't break Rule 7. The others will test you, but 7 will kill you." She just drove away, leaving me standing alone in the parking lot as darkness settled over the abandoned circus. I unlocked the main gate and stepped inside. There was the big top tent in the center, surrounded by smaller attractions, carousel with faded painted horses, a funhouse with a clown face entrance, game booths with prizes still hanging from hooks. I clipped on my flashlight and began my route. The air smelled like rust and old cotton candy. Everything was quiet. Too quiet, just silence pressing against my eardrums. I checked my phone. 10:03 p.m. I checked my phone. Was sweeping debris from the ticket booth when I heard it. The laughter grew louder, more frantic. It sounded like dozens of children playing, shrieking with joy. I remembered rule number 2. That's where the Joker performed his final show. I gripped my broom tighter and forced myself to continue sweeping, my back to the funhouse. The laughter continued for exactly 15 minutes. At 10:15 p.m. it stopped abruptly. The silence that followed felt heavier than before. At 10:52 p.m., I entered the big top tent to begin cleaning the main arena. The tent's interior was massive, with 3 rings and rows of deteriorating bleacher seats. I was sweeping the center ring when I saw him, a figure standing at the edge of the ring. He wore full clown makeup, white face paint with a red smile that extended far beyond natural lips, black diamonds around the eyes, purple and yellow costume. He stood perfectly still, staring at me. Number 3. I kept my eyes down and walked past him quickly, my heart hammering. I could feel his gaze following me. As I exited the tent, I risked a glance back. He was gone. By 11:18 p.m., I was cleaning near the carousel when it suddenly lurched to life. The calliope music started playing. The horses began rising and falling on their poles, rotating slowly. Rule number 4. I backed away and continued to the concession stand, while the carousel continued its ghostly rotation behind me. The music played for 37 minutes, then stopped suddenly at 11:55 p.m. Midnight approached. I had 8 mirrors to cover throughout the circus. Mrs. Hendricks had left 8 white cloths in the supply closet. I started with the funhouse mirrors, draping each one carefully. As I approached the 5th mirror near the dressing rooms behind the big top, I saw movement in the reflection. There was a figure in the mirror, a clown. The Joker. He wasn't behind me. He was only in the reflection. His painted smile stretched impossibly wide as he pressed his hands against the inside of the mirror. I threw the cloth over the mirror and ran. Behind me, I heard glass cracking. I finished covering the remaining mirrors as fast as I could, constantly checking reflections to make sure they stayed empty. At 12:34 a.m., I heard circus music. Faint at first, then growing louder. It was coming from somewhere deep in the grounds. The melody was cheerful and inviting. Rule number 6. The Joker uses it to lure people deeper. I turned away from the music and forced myself to stay on my route. But the music followed me. It played for over an hour, testing my resolve. At 1043 a.m., it finally stopped. 4 minutes until Rule 7. I grabbed my supplies and headed to the main office. 1046 a.m. The office was small, located near the entrance gate. I stepped inside and locked the door. 1047 a.m. The knocking started. 3 sharp knocks on the office door. Then silence. 3 more knocks, louder this time. I sat perfectly still, my eyes fixed on the locked door. This was it. Rule 7 by the minutes passed. With the odd near the entrance gate. Marcus. It came from outside the door. A man's voice. Friendly. Normal. Marcus, are you in there? I'm the night security guard. Mrs. Hendricks sent me to check on you. I gripped the arms of the chair. Marcus, I need you to unlock the door. There's been an incident. We need to evacuate the property. The voice sounded so genuine. I stood up and walked toward the door. Marcus, please. We don't have much time. Something in my brain screamed at me to stop, but the voice was so convincing. I turned the lock and opened the door. The hallway was empty. Then I heard it. Laughter. High-pitched manic laughter echoing through the circus grounds. I had broken Rule 7. I stepped out, my flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. Then I saw him, the Joker, standing 30 feet away. His painted smile looked wet in my flashlight beam. He was taller than before. He tilted his head at an unnatural angle and started walking toward me, gliding. His feet barely touched the ground. I ran. I sprinted across the grounds, my flashlight beam bouncing wildly. Behind me, I heard him coming, fast. I ran past the carousel, past the game booths heading for the big top tent. I burst through the entrance and ran into the center ring. I turned around, my flashlight aimed at the entrance. Nothing. Where was he? Then the circus music started, all around me. The carousel outside roared to life. The funhouse erupted with children's laughter. Every light in the circus suddenly flickered on, then off, then on again. And in each flash of light, I saw him, the Joker, getting closer each time. 10 feet away, flash. 5 feet, flash, right in front of me. I swung my flashlight like a weapon. It passed through empty air. He was gone. Laughter answered me, all around. Everywhere. I was gone. Laughter answered me, all around. I kicked free and ran again. Out of the tent. The Joker appeared in front of me, blocking my path. I changed direction. He appeared again. Everywhere I ran, he was there. I remembered the supply closet. I sprinted toward it and threw myself inside. I heard him outside, scratching at the door. The handle began to turn. I looked around desperately. My eyes landed on the covered mirrors. An idea formed. The Joker uses mirrors to move between spaces. I grabbed a cloth and waited. The door burst open. The Joker stood in the doorway. I threw the cloth over his face. He shrieked. The sound was inhuman. He clawed at the cloth, stumbling backward. I ran past him, heading for the funhouse. If he used mirrors to move, maybe I could trap him there. I burst into the funhouse. Most mirrors were covered, but 3 remained exposed. I pulled the cloths off, exposing the reflective surfaces. Then I ran to the center and shouted, "Come on, come find me." The Joker appeared at the entrance. He saw the mirrors. His expression changed. The smile faltered. He tried to back away, but something pulled him forward. The mirrors were calling him. He glided into the room. His reflection appeared in all 3 mirrors simultaneously. But the reflections moved independently, reaching out, grabbing at him. He screamed as his own reflections pulled him apart, each one trying to drag him into their mirror. He stretched between them, his form distorting, breaking. There was a sound like glass shattering backwards, and he was pulled into all 3 mirrors at once. Then silence. I stood there staring at the mirrors. In each one I could see him, trapped, pressed against the inside of the glass, his painted face twisted in fury. I grabbed the cloths and covered each mirror, sealing him inside. The circus went quiet. Checked my phone. 31:17 a.m. I had survived. I stumbled out and continued my cleaning a.m. I had survived. I stumbled out and continued my cleaning route. The hours until 5 a.m. were the longest of my life. Every shadow made me jump, but the Joker didn't return. The mirrors held him. At 4,000 for 7 a.m., the sky began to lighten. Dawn was coming. At exactly 5,000 a.m., my phone buzzed. A text from Mrs. Hendricks. Congratulations on surviving. I see you broke Rule 7 but found a way to survive. The payment has been transferred, plus a bonus. I'll think about it. I walked to my car as the sun rose over the Crimson Carnival Circus. In the morning light, it looked normal again. Just an old, abandoned amusement park. But I knew what was hiding in those mirrors. I drove away, checking my rearview mirror. Not because I was afraid something was following me, but because I needed to make sure my reflection was doing exactly what I was doing. I survived my first night at the circus. But I know he's still there, waiting in those mirrors. And a part of me wonders what would happen if someone uncovered them. Someone who doesn't know about the Joker who died 30 years ago and never really left.